Sakali Swakwig, Diego Sioni. So hello everyone, my name is Diego C. I am one of the lead instructors in the Tehariwanakwa Language Nest. So today I'm gonna do the parent-adult language lesson. So today's topic is going to be greetings, introductions, and we're going to go over some emotions. So I'm going to keep it pretty general just so you have an overview of some of this information. But as you go along throughout your language learning journey, you'll definitely learn more words to use within these topics. So this first section or segment of the video is going to be specifically greetings. So I just put some real common ones up here, and I'll go through them. Suguli, I say that all the time. Suguli is hello. This other word you can use, seg or segu, is also hello. Sometimes I'll hear like some different usage of how one might use either of these words. I would say you can really use like them with anything. What I have heard like segu used with mostly is like maybe someone's name or like a kinship type of word, like seguna is like hello mom, or segulage, hello dad, or segu John or whatever. You could say like that. It's a little, I would guess I could call it maybe a little bit more formal, I suppose you could say, where Suguli is maybe like a little bit more informal. But I would say at the end of the day, whatever you're using Oneida language is like the biggest thing. So Suguli, hello. Segu, hello, also hello. This next one on here, hatsque. Hatsque is like an older type of word. Hatsque means like, how about it? How goes it? Like when you see someone like, it's kind of like, hey, what's up? Like, you know, kind of like that. So hatsque or atsque. Hatsque, adding this H before the A is like an old way of saying it. So I might get more into that a little bit later on in some of the other lessons, but hatsque, hello, how goes it? How about it? The next one, nate oliwas. Nate oliwase means what's new? What's new? So nate is this word for what. Oliwa, just right here, that means like a matter. So nate oliwas, together, this A-S-E at the end means new. So it's like, what's new? Kind of like, what's up? You can kind of say that when you're seeing someone or greeting someone. There's different things you might say when you're greeting someone. This next one, you may also ask questions like this, like how's it going or something like that. So I have two different types of questions on here that you can ask. So this one is the first one, skana goga. Skana goga means, do you have peace within you? Anytime you see ga, it's making it a question. So it's going to ask a question. Skana means peace. The go on skana is like a great peace. Skana goga is like, do you have a great peace within you? A possible response to that is this means yes. So I wrote that over there. I'll go over that in a second. Skana go is yes, I have peace within me. Or skana dega is like, no, I don't have peace within me. A lot of times you probably would say, skana go. So a few good phrases to know. So let's go over this half. I'll say it and I'll have you repeat it if you're watching it at home. Everyone, suguli, segu, hatsque, nate, oliwas. The full phrase, everyone, nate oliwas. Awesome. The next one, I'll do it like piece by piece. Everyone, skana, go, ga. The full phrase, skana, go, ga. Awesome. Possible response, you can say, skana, go. Yes, I have peace within me. Or, everyone, skana, dega. So it's like, skana dega is like, no, I don't have peace within me. So if you are watching this or watching this video, you can take notes. That's really helpful. At least for me, I'm the type of learner, like when I'm writing stuff down, that's how my brain is connecting it myself to learning the word and acquiring the word. So it's one recommendation I would have if you're watching this video. The other one is too, you can just take a screenshot of the video and then you'll have the words on here too. So I like to use the board because sometimes I add things when I go over it, and it just helps me to teach a little bit more in person and with the video. So yeah. Also, too, before I go over these things, this greetings, introductions, and emotions video, this is one of our 4 monthly parent videos. I highly, highly recommend watching one or both of the foundational component parent adult language videos. That will give you a really, really good foundational base for learning like other words in the language, other words and verbs and nouns. It will help you with pronunciation. It will help you to understand how words are structured and conjugate in our language, and it just gives you more of a better solid acquisition in understanding like how words change and what is the real like deep literal meaning of a word as opposed to maybe like memorization. So it's going to really help you to connect with those words, and that's what we all really want to do, is connect with the words, revitalize our language, and that's kind of what's a part of all of that. So this is one video. The other ones, the foundational ones that we have every month, we have 2 at least a month. Watch those as well. So for this month, I believe we have the sound practice and also the A step. So those are the foundational component videos. New parents to the program, I strongly recommend watching those videos. Those will help you a lot. So you should have gotten a book back when we dropped off those backpacks. There is a parent curriculum book in there for parents. You could follow along with those foundational videos, the sound practice and the ASTEM, using that book, okay? So I'm going to move on here. This other part, these are just some other things I wanted to go over. So questions you might use when you're talking about greetings. Ot niyo tu hadi is, how's it going? How's it going along is kind of what it means. So ot just means what. Nate, like nate o liwas, can also mean what. But ot niyo tu hadi can also mean what. So there's different versions of that in Onggohoene. So how's it going along? One way to say, like, ask a question if you're inquiring about someone, if you're greeting them. Yoyan ledi is a possible response. So you can say it's going along good. Or yate yoyan ledi. Yate yoyan ledi means it's not going along so good. Yate makes something a negative in our language. So we said yoyan ledi is it's going along good. Yate yoyan ledi means it's not going along good. Okay? So just know, just a little thing about the language. Yate makes something the opposite or negative. So we may talk about that when we talk about the 3rd section of this video, the emotions. Okay? So practice pronunciation. Everyone, ot, ni, yo, do, ha, di. Let's try the full phrase slowly. Ot niyo tu hadi. Okay, good. One more time. Ot niyo tu hadi. Good. This next one, yoyan ledi. Everyone try yoyan ledi. Good. And then the opposite, it's not going along good. Yate yoyan ledi. So go ahead and try yate yoyan ledi. Good. I ask this a lot when I start my immersion videos for the Facebook Live ones. I'll say, sometimes I'll say otni zanio to hadi. It just means like, how's it going along for you? It's pretty much the same thing. And I'll say, yoyan ledi ga? Is it going along good? Or yaka de yoyan ledi? Is it not going along good? It's pretty close to this. I'm just changing it and how I'm saying it. I'm asking them like a question. Is it going along good? Yoyan ledi ga? Or not? So it's just an interactive thing I use when I'm greeting my students, especially in the virtual programming on the Facebook Live. So the last section here, these are like, I don't know, kind of greeting words. They're just random words that are really helpful to use. They're like really good to know. So means yes. The old way of saying yes is this H caret. Adding an H before vowels, the first vowel in a word, is an old way of speaking Oneida. It's older dialect from older speakers. Both are correct, both are good. And remember, just using Oneida in any fashion is good. That's what we always want to do. We want to normalize the use of our language in our community. So, or is yes. Da is no. There's also a few other variations of this da or no. Yata, or I've also heard yata, or da. Yata or yata, also meaning no, but really common, da, T-A-H. So if you watch the sound practice video, we know T's make a D sound, so that's why we get da. This next one is like a really helpful word to know. It means go. K's make a G sound in Oneida, so K-O-H is go. Here, it means like here, take it. So if I'm giving you something, like take it, go. That's what that word is, okay? So this is the greeting section. We will move on to some brief introductions next. Okay, Sigali, so now we're going to do the second segment of this video. This one has to do with like a basic introduction. So that's kind of what the next section is. A basic introduction in Ongohoetne or in Oneida, it usually has three things. One, it's your name. So that's the first part of like a general introduction of yourself in the language. Two is your clan, so the clan that you belong to. And then the third one is the nation, or the nation in which you come from. So there's a lot of other ways to say the things that I'll go through today. There's other ways to ask people what their name is, what their clan is, their nation, and all these other words. But I just want to give you a real brief overview so that you know how to do it for yourself. But we may perhaps go more in depth within other videos about this topic here, okay? So the first part you need for an introduction of yourself is your name. So a real general way, real common way to say your name, or my name is whatever, is Ni Yoongyats, okay? Ni Yoongyats, that's the phrase. So you would say your name and then Ni Yoongyats. So I would say Yegon Seo Ni Yoongyats. My name is Yegon Si, so that's what I'm saying. Or I could also say Rosa. Rosa is my Otzlunigeha English name. Rosa Ni Yoongyats. We can say it like that too. So Yegon Seo Ni Yoongyats, or Rosa Ni Yoongyats, Bob Ni Yoongyats, whatever your name is. So that's pretty much how you would say that. You can also make it a little bit more detailed. Sometimes you could use these two words here. Otzlunike, I mentioned, or Otzlunigeha is the word for English, okay? This other one down here is Ongohoetne, or Ongohoetneha, is the word for Oneida in Oneida, okay? So, with those two words in mind, you can actually use that within this phrase. So sometimes if I'm talking or introducing myself to people, maybe it's like a group of people that doesn't know me, or I'm doing a presentation or something, I might say this both ways. I might say, Yegon Seo Ni Yoongyats Ongohoetne. Rosa is my Oneida name, my original name. That's kind of what that's saying. Or I could also say, Rosa Ni Yoongyats Otzlunike. Rosa is my like English name. It's like what they call me, what my name is. That's what that Ni Yoongyats is. So there's many ways to say what your name is in Ongohoetne, but this is like really common. So Ni Yoongyats. So go ahead and try saying your name plus Ni Yoongyats. So go ahead. Good. The next one, another way, pretty simple way to say your name is your name, and then this word or phrase, Niwak Sanod. Niwak Sanod, or the full word, Niwak Sanoda. That is, it means it's my kind of name, the kind of name that I have. The wuk or wug is me. It's a pronoun me. So if you're watching the A stem video, or if you know the C stem pronouns in Oneida, the C stem objective pronoun for me is wug. So we see that here because this word for a name, osan or osana, which is incorporated into the word for the kind of, it's a C stem as well. So that's why you have to have a C stem pronoun with a C stem noun. Things got to match up. That's the structure of the language. So niwak sanod, the od or odan plus the ni, those two things work together. That's the kind of. So niwak sanoda is an entire phrase meaning it's my kind of name, essentially. So when they put names through, in Ungano-Sesne, a lot of times the speakers will say Niyagosanod, Nihosanod, Nigasanod is like her or his, or it's a kind of name. It's like that's the kind of name they have when they're like announcing it to the people during the ceremony, or announcing it to the creator, acknowledging your name for all of creation, they say. So this is, I guess that's where you're going to see that probably more, but I tend to use that too. That's the way I like to talk. So and you can say it any way, whatever is comfortable for you, using the language, always, whatever fashion, trying, doing it, that's number one. That's like always my number one thing is using it, trying it, doing it. That is how we're going to revitalize and normalize the use of the language in the community. Okay? So, Niwak, Niwak Sanod. So you can do the same thing here. You can say, I'll use my name for example, Yegunsio Niwak Sanoda Ungohote. Yegunsio is my kind of name, my kind of Oneida name. Or I could say Rosa Niwak Sanoda Ozlunike. So Rosa is my kind of English name. So that's the first part of a introduction. Second part is a clan. So there's a few ways to say this too. This is pretty common. So I'll put both of these up here. These are like probably the most common ones. Very similar setup. A lot of times if you're thinking about like this is a sentence in Oneida, sentences in Oneida are like usually opposite of how you might say them in English. So like if we're talking about names, in English you would probably say my name is Rosa. But in Oneida it's like the name first and then the verb second. So it's the rule of thumb usually, so just a general guideline is that usually it's the opposite in Oneida. So how you might say it in English is probably going to be the other way in Oneida. So that is a great reflection of the worldview and how we see things using our language in our minds as Ungwehu people. So moving on to the clan. So to say my clan is, or whatever it is, first of all, we have 3 clans in Ungwehu these days. So the 3 clans are Ohkwal, a bear, Atnowal, a turtle, or Otahyun, a wolf. We actually have 9 clans. We have 3 of each bear, Atnowal, turtle, and 3 of the wolf. So that actually, we have 9 clans actually, and there's 9 Oneida families, and they fall under each of those clans. However, these days, it's really common that many families have forgotten or lost that knowledge. It's just one of the impacts of colonization. So the moral of the point is that we do actually have 9 clans. And that's why we have 9 council chiefs in the Grand Council. That's why we have 9 seats, I guess you could say, in the Grand Council. So that's how that's connected. But anyway, these days, many people just adhere to like one of these. So we don't quite know. Some people do know what their actual clan is. Some do not, and that's okay. That's okay. Together, we're working on like healing that part of our history and revitalizing our culture and our ways and finding that knowledge again. So it's okay. If you don't have a clan, that's okay too. Just a brief overview of clans. Ohkwal, they have to do with the medicines. Atnowal, the turtles, there's like the environment, the land, the earth, the knowledge, I believe, as well. And wolf is like the path. This word for wolf, this word for a path, ohaha, is in this word for a wolf. And the ending of otahyun, it has to do with making. So otahyun, this word together, actually means something a little bit more than that. It means to make a path. It makes a path, or we call them the pathfinders. So that means different things for different people, but those are the general responsibilities of the bear, turtle, and the wolf. The medicines, they keep and help and look after the medicines, the bear clan. The turtles are like the environment, the land, the earth. And then Otahyun is like the path. The wolves, they help with that. So also another note about clans is you get your clan from your mother's side. So it's a matrilineal. We have a matrilineal culture. So my mom is Turtle Clan, and so that's why I'm a Turtle Clan. Oh, I might not have mentioned that. I'm Turtle Clan. So, but like Yojigla Gewas, she's the co-teacher. Her mom is Wolf, so that means Yojigla Gewas is a Wolf Clan. So sometimes, especially these days, it's okay. Sometimes we don't have mothers that have a clan, and that's okay. We actually can adopt people in clans. And the Wolf, the Otahyun, that clan, they take in the adoptions. So our culture is so unique in a way that we can adapt and evolve to meet the needs of the people in the current era. So it's really cool to be able to, I guess, be a part of a community that is open and welcoming to things like reclaiming our clans, or clanship, I suppose you could say. So That's why the clan, you can kind of see those things I talked about. This is why clan is an important part of an introduction, a general part, the second part of an introduction, saying what your clan is, because that's going to demonstrate like who you are and where you come from. Our culture and our people are based on kinship and our connections to each other. And my connection is to Turtle Clan. That's my family, and that's my mom's family and her mom's family, and that's where I come from. So you can kind of see in some of those qualities, the responsibilities of a Turtle Clan are things that I do in my own life and in my job. So those are kind of why and how those are how those things I guess, manifest in our lives. Okay, so moving on. Okay, sometimes I go off on a tangent, so I apologize. But hopefully that was informational. So moving on to the word. So the word for clan, saying what my clan is. Niwak dalod. Otdala is the word for a clan. Niwak. Wagi is me in the I stem. Objective. I stem objective. Niwak dalod. We kind of talked about where we've seen variations of oda. It means kind of. When you see an oda on something and a ni at the beginning, it means the kind of something. So I said Odala is a clan, Wagi is mine. This explains what this entire word means. Niwak dalod is my kind of clan. So you would say your clan and then Niwak dalod. There's a couple ways you can say your clan though. So for me, example one, I'm Turtle Clan. One way I could say what my clan is Atnawal, Niwak dalod. Turtle is just the Atnawal is just the word for turtle. So you can use just the animal names, Atnawal, Niwak dalod, or if you're a bear clan, you can say Ohkwali, Niwak dalod, or if you're a wolf, you can say Otahyun, Niwak dalod, or you can be a little bit more specific. There's other verb variations of how you would say a clan. And it's these ones right here. So you can say this also instead of using the animal names. You can say if you're a wolf clan, you could say Wakwaho, Niwak dalod. Or if you're a bear, you can say Wageskle Wage, Niwak dalod. I'm a bear clan. That just means Wageskle Wage means I'm a bear. That's all it means. Wagniata, Niwak dalod is I'm a turtle. So that's what I would say. Wagniata, Niwak dalod. Turtle is my kind of clan. Or I could say Atnawal, Niwak dalod. So if you're watching this section of the video, you can take a screenshot of it. You can take notes. It's a good way to taking notes, although sometimes people don't like doing it. It really just helps, at least for me, helps my brain connect with what I'm learning, and just like the act of writing it, it's helping me connect with what's being said. So it's more about the action. That's what Oneida language is all about, action, doing. Okay, so I think we practiced this one. Maybe just back up for pronunciation purposes. Your name, Nyongyats, so practice Nyongyats. Okay, good. Practice Niwak sanod. Go ahead, Niwak sanod. Good. The next one, you can use these. Remember when we talked about them? Oh, zluni gay. So go ahead and try that. Is the word for English. Or ungwahoate. Go ahead. Good. And then this one we just mentioned, Niwak dalod. So you're saying your clan, and then Niwak dalod. So try that. Niwak dalod. Remember, if you watch the sound practice video, you see these parts of words being underlined. They're whispered when nothing's after them. So in this case, there's nothing after them. That's why we're only saying Niwak dalod. We're saying it up to the T. Okay. Sometimes it's the last letter. Sometimes it's the last two. It depends on the word. You get more familiar with it the more you learn about our language. Review of the words, the animal names. Everyone, Ohkwal, Atnawal, Otahyun. So if you're a bear or wolf clan and you're saying Niwak dalod, remember though, something is after that Ohkwal or Ohkwali, so then you're saying the I at the end. So it's Ohkwali, Niwak dalod, or Otahyuni, Niwak dalod. Okay? So, good words. Oh, and then these last three, everyone, Wakwaho. Double K's make a K sound in Ungwahoate. I don't know if that's in the sound practice, but Wakwaho is like you can hear the next to each other. Wakwaho. Wageskle Wage, I'm a bear. So go ahead, Wageskle Wage. Or, my favorite, just kidding, Wagniata, Niwak dalod. Okay? So this last one, nation. This is the last part of a general introduction. So you would say your nation, Niwagu hunjod. Niwagu hunjod. So you can kind of see these that oda ending on all these. Niwak sanod, niwagitalod, niwagu hunjod. So that's that's a general introduction. So it's your whatever plus those words. So again here, ni and oda are referencing the kind of. Wagu is a U stem objective pronoun for me, and this hunj or hunja or hunjag, if you've heard that in our opening, de tino eladu yunkino ha hunja. Oh, hunja is an earth. It's like our Mother Earth, and this is what we're saying. It also means land. It also means dirt. It also means your nation. That's what that ohunja can also mean. But the noun, we take nouns, this is really common in Oneida, we take nouns or roots and stick them in a verb or another word. It's called incorporation. So we took that ohunja, we stick it in here. It's always after the pronoun, before the ending. That's generally the structure. It's a little bit more advanced language skills, but it's very helpful to know. That's really how our language is found. Ni wago hunjod. So you can hear the hunja. You can also hear, if you know the word for like African American, black people, hunji. Hunji is the word that we call that group of people. Hunj, hunja. That's where it's coming from. The hunj is from hunja, earth, land, dirt, because it said, or I guess at least what we believe from our culture, is that those people, they're made from the earth. It's a really cool thing because we can use those words and that's how we describe those people. So they're made from the earth. They're made from the dirt. It's like they come from it. And I think, at least from what I've learned, is some of the, I guess, more older cultural stories that they have from their ancestry that African American people have, is that they actually have stories that are talking about that too, that hunja, like coming from the earth. And in our creation story, it said that Creator made us from the earth as well. So that's where that word is coming from. It's all connected. It's our language, but it's the culture is within the language. And the worldview is within that too. The way you're seeing and saying and hearing and feeling and understanding things, I guess you could say. So let's see, where was I going with that? Hunja. Oh, anyway, like I said, Creator made all of us from the earth, the dirt, and He used fire, and He used air, and blew into us. And so there's many symbolic representation of those things that Creator made us from within our culture, within our ceremonies. And when I do my opening with the virtual programming, sometimes I'll stop and pause on that section with Sungwayat Dizu, the Creator, and I'll say, oh, wahluni, or I'll say wahatste, o gala, o wela suha, or ojiste. Like He used dirt, and He used fire, and He used air. Ahluni, agwegu, or ungwehogu, like to make the people. So it's just cool how those things connect. So that's all I wanted to say. There I go on my tangent again. Back to this part of the introduction. So nation, saying our nation. You would say your nation, Niwagu hunjod. So Oneida, this is, we're obviously in Oneida. This is Oneida language nest. So you're most likely going to use this one. Oneyote ag, or Oneyote aga, is people of the standing stone. People of the standing stone. So the A is underlined when it's by itself, but when it's with a phrase, something after it, you would say the full word, Oneyote aga. So I said that means people of the standing stone. Onai is a stone. Ode is the something that's standing or upright. Aga is like the people, the group of, that thing. Oneyote aga ni wagado hunjod. In our cultural ways, that's how we call ourselves. So we are Oneida. Yes, we're Ongwehu, or Ongweho'ne is our Oneida language, but our nation is really called the people of the standing stone, the Oneyote aga. So that's just a little clarification. If you're Mohawk or any of the other 6 nations within our confederacy, or 5 nations plus Oneida, so 6, you could use any of these. There's other ways to say these. This is within our language of how we would say them, but you might say them using their language too. Just a quick note about our brothers and sisters of the 6 nations. Our languages are all a root word-based system. That means that although there are differences within each language, we have the same structural foundation of all the languages. So they're all based on a root word language acquisition. They use roots to create words and verbs and conjugate them accordingly. There is dialects and linguistical differences here and there, but essentially it's very much so the same. So how we might say things here might just sound a little different in Mohawk. Oneida and Mohawk are similar. There are differences, but there are very much similarities. We use very similar verbs for things. However, sometimes based on the different areas of where our people come from, there are some differences environmentally and whatnot in the community. But they are all very much connected and interwoven within, I guess maybe you could say, like the same basket of what makes our confederacy. So, like, the point of that is that you could have a conversation with someone in Mohawk and you can stay right in Oneida. They can speak Mohawk, you can speak Oneida, and you can exchange and communicate using the same thing. That is done within our ceremonies, especially within our confederacy ceremonies. So, like the Great Law, the Gayan La Slat Goa, we have all 6 nations. They're represented within that ceremony. So there's speakers from every single nation that are talking during that ceremony. Or the Galihui, there is also members of each nation, members of the 6 nations that speak at that. So trying to remember if there was anything else I wanted to add. That's pretty much it. There's other ways to say these nations too. These are just kind of like more simple ones. So what's here is not like it. There's many ways to say the same thing in Ungohotne. Many other ways to call these nations. So this is just one way. That's all I wanted to say. So Oneyote Aga, Niwak Hunjod. Sorry, Niwak Hunjod. Sometimes I'll hear the do in there. That's why I say that. Oneyote Aga, Niwak Hunjod. Niwak Hunjod. Okay? Oneida, or the people of the Standing Stone, is my nation. That's what you're saying. I didn't put that on here, but is my kind of nation. That is what Niwak Hunjod means. Okay? So you could say Oneyote Aga, Ganyak Gehag, or Ganyak Gehaga is Mohawks. Cayuga Ag, or Cayuga Aga, is the Cayugas. Onunda Kehag, or Onunda Kehaga, is the people of the hills. Onunda is a hill. That's the Onondagas. They are the central fire. That's where the Grand Council, the Chiefs Council resides, is in, I guess they say it, the capital of our confederacy. It's just a way to understand it. But it's like the central fire. That's the center of all of our nations here. The Dwana Ag is the Senecas, and the Duskalol or Duskalolo is the Tuscaroras. So if you're also any of those nations, you could say it like that too. Or you can say it like other indigenous communities. You could say that nation too. Niwak Hunjod. Dine. Niwak Hunjod. I'm Navajo. Or something like that. There's definitely no like restrictions or anything. You could totally say that if you wanted to, especially, you know, in this current age. We're all from somewhere, maybe not just Oneida, but a lot of other communities too, and that is okay. You can say it, Lakota, Niwak Hunjod. You could say something like that. That's cool too. Your nation. So I think that's all I wanted to say about that. But let's practice. So you would say your nation. Everyone, Ni Wagu Hunjod. Full phrase, slowly. Niwak Hunjod. Again. Niwak Hunjod. Now let's try Oneyote Aga. Everyone. Onai. Yode. Aga. Again. Oneyote Aga. Oneyote Aga. Okay, let's try the full phrase. I'm saying, the people of the Standing Stone is my nation. Oneyote Aga. Niwak Hunjod. So try that. Oneyote Aga. Niwak Hunjod. Good, okay? So now we learned how to do a simple introduction of ourselves in Ongohotne. So you have to have your name, your clan, and the nation you come from. All right, so we'll move on to the last section of this video, and that is emotions. Okay, so the third section of this video is going to be about emotions. So I have like 4 general ones I use a lot with my students in class. They're real common ones, especially at the age of our language nest. Kids are really like familiarizing themselves and learning about like these real common ones. There's lots of other ones beyond these ones, but I just want to give you like a real brief overview on some common ones to use as parents, with your families, with your kids. So the first one is zatsu ni, or I have them in forms of questions. So I structure this is asking the question and saying yes I am or no I'm not, okay, for each one. So the first one has to do with being happy. So zatsu ni is you are happy, but if we make it a question, we mentioned this earlier, ga makes it a question. I just put it in parentheses because you don't have to say zatsu ni ga, but you can just say zatsu ni is like you're happy. But zatsu ni ga is are you happy? Zatsu ni ga. Okay? To say I'm happy, you would say wagatsanun or wagatsanun ni, I'm happy. Or we mentioned making something the opposite or a negative in our language. We add a ya de before the word. So we said wagatsanun ni is I'm happy. Ya de wagatsanun ni, I'm not happy. Let's see. A few other notes about this section or these emotion words. Za in our language, this is an A stem objective pronoun. Za means you. So when you're asking you, you're going to see a lot of S or za or zo or zu depending on the stem. Whatever. When I say stems, if you're watching the A stem, it's just one of the categories of verbs in our language. So every verb in our language is mostly full of verbs. Every verb has a stem, and most stems are C stem. The second most common stem is an A stem. This word is an A stem. And so when you're talking and asking someone a question, you got to put the pronoun in there because I'm asking you. So I'm saying, zatsu ni ga, are you happy? But if I wanted to say I'm happy, I got to change the pronoun. So for this word, because I said it was an A stem objective, waga. Waga. So if you watch the A stem video, this is an A stem word, and it is an objective word. You don't got to worry too much about what that means, subjective or objective, but if you know the pronouns, it will make more sense. Wagatsu ni, I am happy. Yate wagatsu ni, I am not happy. Okay? So this is just question, possible responses. Zatsu ni ga, are you happy? Wagatsu ni, I'm happy, or yate wagatsu ni, I am not happy. Okay? So let's practice that. Everyone, zatsu ni, go ahead, and then ga. Full phrase, everyone, zatsu ni ga. Good? Let's say I'm happy. Wagatsu ni. Go ahead. Wagatsu ni. Good? Let's say I'm not happy. Go ahead and try. Yate wagatsu ni. Go ahead. Awesome. Yate wagatsu ni. I am not happy. Okay, the next one has to do with sadness. Zatni go laksos. Or zatni go laksos say is you're sad. Okay, so not the ga. It just means you're sad. But if I added the ga, now it's a question. Zatni go laksos say ga? Zatni go laksos say ga? Are you sad? Okay. When I did this like within my class and my students, I use pictures. So if you watch in the virtual programming Facebook Live videos, I use pictures all the time. Pictures are a common immersion teaching technique to help students understand what words mean without using any English. Because within our program, the intent is to normalize our language and create speakers. And to do that, we are decentralizing English, centralizing our language, and creating speakership, preserving our worldview within our students' minds and how we see things using our culture. So that is a very large task. This immersion is a very, very common indigenous language revitalization approach that is very successful. So if you know anything about immersion, Hawaiians, the Maoris in Australia, and our relatives, the Mohawks out east in Akwesasne and Gahnawag, or Gahnawage, they have language immersion programs from adults to little children, little babies, and they have created speakers through those programs, and they've literally saved their language with that. So that's why we do those things here. one technique in how I tell or get students to learn about what these words mean, I use pictures. I also act it out. I use gestures. We do activities to pick up the words. So like if I don't have these pictures, sometimes I don't, and I say, oh, Zatsunoniga, or sorry, Zatsunoniga, Zatsunoniga, like, are you happy? You know, I'll show them a happy face, like, and I do it. Or if I said, are you sad? Zatnigo laksonsega, and you can hear the tone in my voice change too, because I want, a lot of times, like 80% of communication is nonverbal. So if I'm saying it in a certain way that's kind of sad, you're thinking, oh, that's got to have to do with sadness, if I didn't tell you what that meant. If I did that, you'd be like, oh, she's saying, are you sad? You know, like you're picking it up. Like it's repetitive routine is that's how students pick up words like that, plus with pictures and things like that. So I always act these out too, because these are really easy to do. So that's why I use my hands a lot, and my body, and like body movements and stuff like that. And I'm a teacher, so you gotta keep up the energy. Anywho, okay, back on track. Zatnigo laksans is you are sad. Zatnigo laksonsega, are you sad? Possible responses: yes, I am. No, I'm not. Or I am. I'm not. Okay. Wagatnigo laksans say is I'm sad. Yate is the opposite. So see me shaking my head. I'm not sad. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Yate wagatnigo laksans. So some of those little common grammatical things in our language I go over during these lessons. So pick those up. Okay. Ga makes it a question. Yate is the opposite or a negative. I'm not. Whatever it is. Okay. So let's see. Where's my picture here? Are you sad? Or I'm not sad. Okay, let's practice this word. Everyone. Za, ni, gul, lux, sa, se. The full word. Za, ni, gul, lux, sa, se. Okay, I broke it down because it was a longer word. Let's try the full phrase. Za, ni, gul, lux, sa, se, ga. Good. Let's say I'm sad. Okay, this is what we call a fake E-stem, actually. If you know a little bit more about Oneida, how do we recognize fake E-stems? They're a little tricky because they look like C-stems. But if a verb has this fancy little glottal thing, you already know. If that's after the pronoun, that is a fake E-stem. It's a little bit of a trick stem. Anywho, moving back on, if you know the fake E-stems, you know that me is wage. You is za. So that's why we have wage nigo laksans. Wage is me. Everyone, wage nigo laksans. Go ahead. Wage nigo laksans. Again, wage nigo laksans. Good. Let's try I'm not sad. Yate wage nigo laksans. Again. Yate wage nigo laksans. Good. Okay? And if you at any point need to review these words a little bit more, I had to cover a lot of info, so I try to slow down within the lesson, but sometimes I kind of have to get through it too because I don't want the video to be too long. If you need to, just rewind it or like go back in the video. I don't know if you still use the word rewind. Whatever. Anyway, just go back in the video and, just rewatch these little sections if you need more pronunciation help. Okay? Moving on to a couple more. Zanakwalga. Zanakwalga is, are you mad? Zanakwalga. So zanakwal is you're mad. Okay, no ga. If we add the ga, it makes it a question. So zanakwalga, are you mad? Usually I go like this, like when I'm telling the kids. And this is common because when we have our regular routine in person and the kids come in every morning, I always greet the kids. I spend a little time with everyone, while I'm setting up the table for breakfast or I'm letting them play. And I always go over and I ask them how they're doing, high five, I say I miss them, I give them a hug. And then I always do like a little check-in, how they're doing. And I go through usually these 4 emotions. I have other packs of like more emotions for older students that we've had. But this is like a little good check. So although most of the time they're always happy, it's helpful because later in the day maybe they're having a little bit of a tough moment, or they're kind of sad or mad. Maybe it has to do with like sharing with a friend or something, and they're a little frustrated. I'll ask them, and I'll bring my chart back out again, and I'll say, "Oh, sana kwalga," and if they can identify the emotion, and you take the time and do that with them, it will be very helpful in redirecting them, attending to their needs, and identifying their emotions goes a long way, especially when you're working with your kids, or when I work with students. I'll say, like, "Oh, are you sad? Nothing at all. Like, what happened? What's the matter? And then they just tell me, and they feel so much better about it. They got off their chest, they got off their back, and then we can play. So that that's kind of how we work with kids, and that's where these emotions come in. We're doing it in context, so it's not like I'm saying, "Okay, kids, like we're learning these words on the board." I'm just trying to go over the difference here of what we're doing in class. And then, how you can learn these words as parents and adults and use them with your kids too. So we're doing it, we're applying it in context. And although when we do it in the beginning of the day, it's kind of general, usually they're always happy, it comes in handy because then later on, they're like, "Oh yeah, we talked about those words in the morning. She asked me if I was mad, and I wasn't, but maybe I am now, and now we can talk about it." So context. Okay, no more tangents. Just kidding. Zanakwal, you're mad. Zanakwalga, are you mad? If I want to say I'm mad, wagnatkwal. Wagnatkwal. That's what I would do if I was talking about that to a child in immersion. Wagnatkwal, I'm mad. Yate wagnatkwal. I'm not mad. Okay? This is a C stem. Yes, it is a C stem. Okay, I just had to change one thing on here. My bad. Because it's a C stem, it's not za, it's S. Sometimes that happens. It's pretty common. You have a pretty good idea of, especially, this is an objective word. Most emotion words are objective, which is why we're using objective pronouns. Anyway, sorry, it's not qual. Common mistake. I make mistakes all the time as an immersion teacher. It happens all the time. And if you watch the Facebook videos, if I'm laughing at myself, it's probably because I made a mistake. That's okay though. This is a great opportunity because if you make mistakes, do not worry about them. We learn from mistakes. Embrace it. Seriously. We learn from our mistakes, and what we do is we try. Perfectionism is impossible, okay? Let's not worry about that. Let's worry about trying, and if we make a mistake, it's okay. You just laugh it off. So I do it all the time. I laugh, and you know what? My kids, my students, they know so much Oneida, like their ears, their brains, because they're like more like a first language speaker, and I'm like a second language adult speaker, or like more similar to that. They can pick up things really fast, faster than my brain can. And so, like, in class, if you ask any of the instructors, the kids correct us every single day. Like, it's funny because they are just so smart, and they know these things, like, they're like, no, like, that's not what that is. And they'll say it in Oneida. So it's interesting to see how that works. Anyway, it's demystifying the learning cycle. So a great little lesson here, using my own mistake, is being okay with making mistakes. That is how we learn. If you ever look back at anything in your life and you made mistakes, you always learn from them. But it's totally okay. Like, seriously, I do them, and I teach this program. So just know that is okay. Embrace it. That is how we heal, and that's how we save our language. So, snot qual, my bad. Snot qual or snot qualga, are you mad? That's the question. Wagnat qual, I'm mad. Yate wagnat qual, I'm not mad. Okay, that's a good word. Here's my little picture, a little purple face because he's really frustrated. So, but let's practice that. Everyone, snot qual. Everyone go ahead, snot qual. You're mad. Phrase, snot qualga. Are you mad? And let's try wagnat qual. Okay, I'm mad. And yate wagnat qual. Good. Okay, so we have one left, and it has to do with being tired, my favorite one. Just kidding. Anywho, de wagadiagu is I'm tired. The phrase de sadiagu, you're tired, or de sadiagu ga, are you tired? Are you tired? Usually I say this in the beginning if I'm doing the Facebook Live videos. And I'll be like, oh, de wagadiagu, de wagadohunjonia, aknegila, ozahedagel. I'll say, I'm tired today, I need to drink coffee. So it's just funny, the kids laugh. They know I drink a lot of coffee, so that's just what I do. So anyway, moving on. De sadiag, or de sadiagu, you're tired. De sadiagu ga, are you tired? To say, I'm tired. De wagadiagu, I'm tired. Or ya de wagadiagu, I'm not tired. So this, if you notice, the za is the pronoun. It means you. Waga here is me. This is the A stem objective word. But you see this de, this T, what is that? Some verbs are interesting. In Oneida, we have what we call dualic verbs. So sometimes you'll notice the pronoun a little later after this T or TE or something like that. That's what we call, it's a special type of verb. It's a dualic verb. So that's what this is. That's where that comes from. That's all that is. It does have a little bit of a different set of conjugations for verbs, but don't worry too much about that right now. Just know that some verbs are dualic, and that's what that TE is. So, de sadiag or de sadiaguga. Are you tired? De wagadiagu. Oh, that's what I would do, or something like that. If I was saying I'm tired, this is my picture I use. I'm tired, or ya de wagadiag, or ya de wagadiagu. I'm not tired. Let's practice that one. Everyone. De sadiagu. Go ahead. De sadiagu. Ga. Full phrase. De sadiagu ga. Are you tired? Oh, no. This is what they say all the time when we're taking a nap. They'll say, "Yate wagadiagu." Like, I'm not tired. Like, I could see it. You're tired. Let's take a nap, So, anyway, kids say that all the time. So, de wagadiagu. I'm tired. So let's try that. Everyone, de wagadiagu. Good job. And then the last one, I'm not tired. Ya de wagadiagu. Good job. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I like this word because it just sounds so nice. It rolls off the tongue really nice. De sadiagu. I don't know why. I just like it. Maybe because I'm always tired. Not sure. But anywho, that is emotion. So we have gone through greetings, intros, introductions, and emotions. So that is this video for our parent language adult classes. Be sure to complete the Google link if you're a parent of a student in our program after you watch this video, okay? And then we can keep track and make sure that you've watched or done the parent classes for the month. Yamako, onogiwa.